being in the right areas.
But what I think we should talk about when it comes to women and muscle building,
Yeah.
that myth is kind of married to the one where women, the only way to lose weight is through cardio and
Yeah.
hours and hours and hours of cardio,
Yeah.
which is actually, as far as I know, cardio breaks down your muscle. If you have any muscle, if you're doing excessive cardio. And so yes, cardio does keep you in, I guess, in that smaller shape, but muscle indifference actually burns more fat. So when a client approaches you and tells, I want to lose weight, what is the first thing?
The first thing I ever talk to people about is building muscle. Because if you have no muscle, then you are not burning any calories at rest. For every pound of muscle that you add 50 calories to your BMR,
Oh,
which is your basal metabolic rate. So by just living and breathing and being you burn calories. By building muscle, for every pound, you add 50 calories burn sitting, doing nothing, which is the number one thing I go over with my clients. Because you need muscle to regulate all metabolic processes. It's like if you focus solely on just losing body fat without having your muscle, then you're just going to continue to be skinny fat. Because that muscle helps you to burn the calories. And why wouldn't you just want to burn calories by sitting and doing nothing? You know what I'm saying? People get excited when I say that. I'm like, you can literally sit and do nothing and burn calories if you have more muscle than the person next to you. And they're like, really? And their face lights up. Because most people don't want to do anything.
yeah, but the women come and they say, "Oh, I don't want to look like a man," which is another myth, right? Like, look how they're connected, right? There's always, "Oh, you're gonna look bulky."
Yeah.
Cardio is the best way to lose muscle, and then you're gonna look like a man.
Yeah.
And yes, we do have it in the industry, in bodybuilding and fitness, that some women do push to those extremes to be more masculine.
Yeah.
But they do that by choice.
Exactly. Yeah, that's by choice. You have to know what you're doing to put on muscle. It doesn't just, you don't just do a bicep curl and poof, you're Arnold.
You woke up the next day and you're like,
you're like,
I'm a man of Popeye,
Exactly. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
You have to know what you're doing and deliberately do it. Most women also don't even take in enough protein daily to grow muscle, right? 3 meals a day, if like one of your 3 meals is missing protein, I can guarantee you that you're not having enough protein to build muscle. So you could literally train as hard as you want in the gym. If you're not giving your body that protein and carb to build your muscle, you will not get bulky. You cannot out-train a bad diet. You cannot train hard and build if you don't eat enough food, right? So, and most women don't eat enough food. There's a lot of women I know that don't eat it in the morning. They don't eat their breakfast. Their metabolism is slow, right? Very small appetite, right?
But muscle building, actually, when you go with the training of the mindset of building muscle, it makes you hungrier.
It does. Yeah, because your metabolism is spiking, right? So when you are hungry, your metabolism is working. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing. It's fueling your body. It's, it's crazy, and if you build muscle in the right places, which is what I love to do. And that's what I'm most passionate about, is helping women put on muscle in the right places, capping the shoulders, rounding the glutes, nice quads. You know what I'm saying? Right. While keeping your waist small, right? They're all things where you can accentuate that hourglass shape to a woman. And that's fucking sexy. No? Like,
It is.
I don't know. Like, it's all, when I see somebody with muscle, right? You're like, damn, like, that's hard work. You know what I mean? And then there's body composition too, right? You get bodies that have more body fat on them, but fat in the right places, right? So a lot of women in their younger years, they'll hold body fat in their lower end. And it's nice because, it shapes the butt and whatnot. But what happens as you age, that'll go away, right?
Oh, that's
like the body fat, it'll sag, The beauty of where the fat sits, it's going to move, obviously, because it's fat. As you age, it's gravity, right? Why not fill that in with muscle and shape your body and increase your BMR and build on your health and be strong so that you don't get osteoporosis, you don't get any of these diseases, you don't get diabetes. People with muscle don't get diabetes. Who do you see that's jacked with diabetes? Nobody.
Actually, that's a good point.
So it's, yeah, I don't know. It's just this big misconception. And you can build really nice muscular legs and a lower end as a woman and increase your metabolism without being bulky. You don't have to build your upper body, right? Obviously, it's important. And
But I think before we let's talk about the bulky. How, because I think at the core of this myth is, how do women get bulky?
how do women get bulky?
Yeah,
I don't even know. What is bulky? It's so subjective.
They get big by training really hard.
Yeah.
Most often not natural.
Yeah.
When it comes to supplementation, and also they lift heavy as hell and they eat a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And again, so I think a big part of this myth is, and also, it can also be, I'm thinking right now, it can also be a lot of women would go to the gym, train, and men too, not women only. Women, we love you. We're all like positive and supporting each other here. But we would go to the gym. I used to do that before once, I would work out hard.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I have an excuse now. I'm going to go eat a lot.
Right.
But I won't eat, I won't understand what I'm eating, and I would pack up on carbs. Sure, I'll have protein, but I would also allow myself ice cream and whatever. And then I would start gaining weight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I remember thinking to myself, oh, that's because I trained.
Yeah.
That's because I was squatting and now my legs are getting bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it was just a diet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's, I think we need to really get at the bottom when it comes to those myths, because to understand that actually muscle building for women is probably the best thing that they can do for their bodies and mental health and their self-esteem.